With all of the civil jury trials suspended until at least May 3rd in the province, there's an expectation that that could be extended until the end of 2021. David Hollingsworth joins us to discuss what that means for those who've been waiting for jury trials that were scheduled. David, we know that those waits are very long. Describe what is going on at the courts.
Right. So, Leanne, in a civil jury case, normally what happens is there would be 6 members of the public who would be added along with the judge to help decide a case. Either the plaintiff or the defendant can choose if they want to have a case heard by a jury. And so now, since as a result of COVID, the Chief Justice of the Superior Court for Ontario has said no jury trials for until May, and then until the end of the year, probably for civil cases in Ottawa. And so, like, for example, I've got a case that's 9 years old. We've had our trial date for a couple of years for April 19th with a jury, and we find out it can't be heard by a jury. So what do? Well, what we've done is we've brought a motion to the court to have the jury struck. Courts don't do that easily, but under the circumstances, it's practical and fair to do so. And so in my case, they struck it. And there's been a cascade of motions to the courthouse asking for juries to be struck. And it's been hotly contested, and it's been a hot topic in the civil system for quite some time.
So essentially, that will enable the trial to go ahead because your client has been waiting for a very long time, as we mentioned. Is that the idea?
Right, that's right. So what will happen is the trial will go ahead with a judge alone instead of with a judge and jury. And there are a lot of strategic reasons why one party might want to have a jury as opposed to a judge alone. And so it could shorten the trial times, but it could certainly be a pretty seismic shift in the way cases are tried and managed in Ontario.
Now, I believe you mentioned there is speculation that there's a desire to get rid of juries for any civil trials anyway. Is that sort of also in the works, irrespective or irregardless of COVID?
Well, it's definitely something that's been discussed because juries will often add a couple weeks to an average trial just because you have to sequester them, you have to explain things to them. You know, if there's a debate about evidence, they have to be removed from the courtroom. So it actually really ties up a lot more court resources anyway. And so there has been a move towards possibly removing juries altogether, even though it's, there's hundreds of years of history with juries in these cases.
What about your clients and the April 19th date? When will you know whether or not that trial goes ahead?
Well, we brought the motion, the jury was struck. So as of right now, the trial's going ahead April 19th with a judge alone, which we were very happy about.